Hey everyone, happy Monday. It is the last Monday of the month, so you know what that means. It's QuestionPro office hours. We are so excited for you to be joining us across YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you didn't know, I'm the Director of Marketing here at QuestionPro, Crystal Wiese. And today I have two special guests. One sitting in the back waiting until we need him, but Guille Santana is joining us from our workforce team. So excited to have you.
Yay! Thank you for having me, Crystal. So,
Of course.
yeah, I'll just present myself. I'm Guille Santana. As Crystal said, I'm the marketing manager for our workforce product. So, everything that's related to employee engagement, employee experience, action planning, 360s, or positive people science practice. I'm the marketing manager for that. And thank you for having me today, Crystal.
Of course. And if you guys didn't notice a theme in what Guille was talking about, today we're going to be talking about employee experience and using the entire suite of products here at QuestionPro for that employee experience, because surveys are not just for consumers, they're not just for understanding what consumers want, they're also, or for what your customers want, they're also for understanding what your employees want. But, before we dive into the employee experience, what do we have on deck at QuestionPro happening in the next couple weeks? We have QuestionPro X Day,
Woo!
right? Woo! And I want to have one of Jesus, who's running ops for us in the background, pop in our X Day website into the chat so everybody can sign up and join us in Austin, Texas. Guille, who from Workforce is speaking at X Day, and what are they talking about?
Okay, so we have Dan Riley. He's talking about like how to defy gravity, and how to. Let me just double check because I'm not so sure that's the one.
There's
Dan Riley. Defying gravity and rewriting the work story. That's what Dan Riley's
I
talking
love
about.
that.
His whole concept is that the world of work is broken and that we need to fix it, and how employee expectations have changed throughout time. So that's what he's talking about. He's an expert on that topic. Then we have Al Adamson, and
He is a great QuestionPro partner. We do a ton of webinars with him, and if you haven't joined one of those, definitely sign up for one of those.
Definitely. He was named one of the top 100 HR influencers in 2022 and 2023. So he's a huge deal, and he's the founder of My Future of Work, which is an app that brings like the best people that work in HR, data analytics, and that like care about the future of work, basically. And he's actually talking about how to consciously craft it now that we have like AI coming to the picture. So that's what the whole session will be about.
That's awesome. And then they're going to be doing what we're calling practitioner-led breakout sessions. So they'll be in a room where there'll be about 20 access for about 20 people, and they'll really be diving in to a conversation. And then on the main stage, our president of workforce, Sonia Lacina, and Serena with Data by Serena will also be talking. They will be talking about
hold on, empowering change inside your organization. And I think this is this is the most amazing conversation that we'll have. Pair of doctors, and they're data obsessed.
Oh yeah.
In this session is about what to do, like how to take action with your employee survey. And let me tell you, Sani and Serena are obsessed with data, so they'll give you the best insights on how to do this.
I love that.
Not
and Yeah, and if you guys are seeing a theme, Question Pro X Day is not just like, oh, we're going to sit in a room and listen to some influencers. It's all about taking action. It's all about giving you actionable outcomes, even like a survey template or, a 360 template or uh, talking really about like what positive people science is and how you can apply that. This isn't like we want to leave you inspired, but we also want to make sure that you have the tools to make change in your organization moving forward. So please make sure to join us at Question Pro X Day on October 26th. It's a Thursday. Guy and I will both be there in person, which is going to be so fun. Guy is flying up from Mexico. I'm coming back from the West Coast. It's really going to be a wild time. Question Pro employees only get together about once a year. So we get super excited for X Day and we want you to be there.
For X Day, we have a happy hour before
sponsored
by SMR, and it's going to be great. There's going to be like mini donuts.
He's so excited about the mini donuts.
Mini donuts.
So you can find more information at questionpro.com/xday. And if you need a code for a registration discount, reach out to Gian or I. We're in a little bit of a competition, so choose your player. And we both have a discount code we can get a hold of you with. So as you know, do you guys have any webinars coming up? Or, Empowering Workplaces drops every Wednesday, right?
Yes, we have our next webinar is actually this Thursday, and it's on happiness at work. How to be more happy, how to make your employees happy, how to handle this whole work-life balance debate that's going on right now that everyone's going back to the office, and what happens to those who don't, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one because happiness is important. Ultimately, we a lot of time at work. I spend a lot of time with you guys. Yeah, we need to learn how to balance whatever happens in your life and at work, and how to make the most out of it. That's basically the topic for the webinar that's happening this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern time, I believe.
Perfect. Hey, Suze, can you find the link for that and drop it into the comments section? We would love people to sign up for that for happiness in the workplace. And that is a perfect lead in, Guille, to what we're going to talk about today. And everyone who's joining us now, I know we're about 10 minutes in, so I just want to reset. For everybody joining us, thank you so much. I'm Crystal Wiese. I'm the Director of Marketing at QuestionPro, and I'm joined by Guille Santana, who is our, I would say, employee experience marketing expert, man. She's been in it for about 2 years, and we're so excited to have her join us today. So happiness at work, they're doing a webinar about that this Thursday, next Thursday?
Yes, this Thursday.
This Thursday. And so what does it look like for someone to have happiness at work? And if you're an employee who can't really, let's say, influence your HR team, what does it look like to be also, a HR manager and advocate for your employees for happiness at work? What does that kind of look like at a high level?
Happiness at work?
Or just, in general, happiness of employees.
I think this is how we start. Why is feeling cared important? Ultimately, employee surveys are a tool to hear what your employees are thinking, right? To these polls that data experts always talk about. It's mostly about hearing people and continuously hearing them, not just one time. That's why continuous listening is a word. It's do it continuously, not just one time per year. That's not how it works. So why is it important? Because when you feel heard, when you're an employee and you are heard, you are most likely to be engaged with your work, right? They know I exist. They take whatever I say and take action with whatever is happening or in my work. I feel like a sense of ownership and commitment to what I'm doing, because I know what I do is important to my work, to my job, right? And
Mhm.
that ultimately makes you more effective at your job, right? And effectiveness equals good business, right?
Yeah.
In the end, employees are the most important part of a company. It's not your product. It's not your mission. It's not. It's there. It's your employees. They take care of your clients. They take care of your company. Without employees, your company wouldn't exist.
You are so passionate about this, Guille. And I know you were a little nervous before we jumped on here, but like you really have it in your soul. Um,
Truly believe it. I truly believe it.
but like on a side note, could you mute your Slack, please?
Oh yeah, I think the webinar link. I can put it on the comments whenever we're finished. So
Perfect.
about that real.
But yes, it's also I can hear your Slack
Oh, okay.
dinging. Because I had an echo, so I was asking people, and then whenever I would Slack about my echo, I heard your Slack
No.
pop
Okay.
up. No worries.
It's off.
But great. But to reiterate what Gia is saying, there is kind of that if you don't put your employees first, it almost sounds cliche, but it's true. Right, that you really have to make sure that you're understanding what they want and doing efforts to make them be heard more than once a year. We all, QuestionPro is we do our best, and we try to walk what we talk, but we also fall short sometimes. We do a yearly survey. Should we be doing it more? Probably, but that's the system we have in place right now. And we create action off that yearly survey. And so people know when they give input on it, action happens. If you're doing a yearly survey and you don't do anything, people aren't going to care they're not going to feel heard.
Yeah, they're not
Right.
gonna fill out the survey. They're gonna be like, why are we doing this? Like, why do you need my input? Why do you need my insights? I'm not doing it, right? That's what they call survey fatigue. It's like
Mm,
not doing anything with the data. Why do I care, right? Um,
right.
so it's so important.
That's
And
awesome. And so we have a couple products that can help you with that. We have one, which is our large workforce product line. It's a extremely in-depth platform, and we're going to bring in our special guest Just Win here in a little bit to kind of demo what that looks like, and kind of, we can kind of talk through what it looks like long term. But at QuestionPro, I believe all product lines are created equal. And you can even start out with our essentials. And that's really where I think some people, do you think that they don't want to start surveying their employees because they can't do the whole program? How would you suggest someone get started with like a basic platform or a basic survey?
yeah, I mean, if they're using essentials, like if you have a company, if you have your own, you're the CEO of your own company and you have like 1, 2, or 3 employees, you can start
Mm-hmm.
using essentials. You may not need our platform that allows like thousands and thousands of people to fill it out and to
Yeah.
like you won't need like huge dashboards. You won't need to compare data and demographics. Maybe what you need is like to start serving your employees with very simple not simple but like not an whole employee experience platform.
Yeah.
um
Simple doesn't mean bad in this text, right?
exactly.
Like simple means less complex. And sometimes just to get started, it's okay to start simple and build your way up.
Exactly. Yeah, there you gotta
Mhm.
start somewhere. Maybe you don't have HR in your company. Maybe you are HR. So
Maybe your HR. That is, we do see that a lot. If you're a single, you are a small company, starting just by would you say it's almost a practice? Better to start practicing surveying your employees early than later.
exactly. Yeah. And as you keep growing, obviously you can like we have a whole team that can help you out with that. We have a team of data experts that can grow together. We have our customer experience team that can help you set everything up. And let me tell you, these guys are always on top of things. So as you keep growing, you will obviously need to grow your product, right?
Right.
Because you will start to need first like anonymity. Like anonymity is important. That I'm not sure you can do that with essentials, but that's something that you like psychological safety, because you know you can when when you want to speak about your work, sometimes you want to be able to be very honest about it. And that's when anonymity comes in, because when you'll get better feedback that way. I don't know if
Right.
I'm like you'll gain.
No, I mean, I want to dive into that phrase a little bit more, psychological safety. So what you're saying is if someone feels more like their anonymity won't be found out, they're more likely to give honest feedback.
Exactly. That's exactly. Thank you for
Interesting.
saying it, because I
No, you're good. Interesting. I love that. So but as someone, maybe I'm just like a little bit too much of a risk taker. I'm like, I'm gonna type this exactly how I talk, and then they're gonna know it's me. Ta-da! But I'm probably more of a risk taker.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens. I have seen people like sign their text like, "This is me."
I have this opinion.
Yeah, but there's people that are scared. You know, that's where
Right.
like are scared to share what they think, right? Because of like several reasons. You never
Oh
know.
yeah.
Different in different industries. Like we have like this confidence because we work in tech, and like I know I can tell you anything, Crystal. I know I don't need like a survey to tell you whatever I think. But certain industries do.
Yeah. And so there is, as you think about developing your workplace surveys, your workplace experience, whether you're starting simple with 1 to 3 employees using QuestionPro Essentials, which is I would say essentials is such a bad word for it because it has literally everything. You can run unlimited surveys with 100 responses forever. And we have the best question types on the market for a free survey software license. It's not like we gatekeep access on essentials because we want to bump you up. It's really the only reason you need to be bumped up is when you want to start doing more analysis. Essentials really is the best free survey software on the market. And we've had so many people tell us that. And I'm always like, yes, it is. I know that. But you could get better insights by paying us.
Of course, I would say another feature that makes a whole difference when you use our employee experience platform, Workforce, it's the survey templates. You don't have to be from scratch. Like if you wanna measure culture, we have a survey template for that. We have one for well-being. We have one for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So that's another thing I would say. You don't have to build anything from scratch. Those are proven.
That's awesome. So to do that, we're going to bring in our sidekick and our special guest, Jeswin, who we're so excited to have you here. Yeah, you want to do Jeswin's introduction?
Jeswin. Yeah, just like customer experience, right? I'm not messing your title up.
No. You're good. I'm the head of the customer success team for the Workforce business unit, and I lead the global customer success team for Workforce. We work with many different clients in all types of different industries. We also work with consultants, and yeah. So thank you for having me, Crystal and Guille.
Of course. So Jeswin's here to kind of talk about what Guille was just explaining, is how when you get into into our workforce platform, you already have proven templates and a system that's already been in place. And Jeswin, if you want to share your screen, and kind of walk us through what in like QuestionPro Workforce looks like, how you can use it for large orgs, that would be amazing. Here, I'll add it to the stage. And so this is QuestionPro Workforce. It's purple when you're looking at our color palettes. And, you know, it really has everything inside of it. So walk us through, Guille and Justwin, what a survey kind of looks like to start and what these proven surveys are.
Absolutely, yeah. So I would start with the frameworks like you mentioned, Crystal. So you can see when we click on this new study button, and I hope you guys can see my screen, right? I generally ask that question first.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, when we are about to create a survey, there are options like you can obviously create a survey from scratch, wherein again you choose the type of the survey because our platform has the ability to conduct all types of employee engagement or experience surveys and also the 360 assessments or 360 surveys.
Awesome. It has been so long since I've seen the inside of Workforce. This is crazy. Let's go. Yeah. I'm excited.
And we have like different templates for each touch point of employee life cycle, like starting with an onboarding survey, we do have wellness, well-being, we do recruiting experience surveys, exit experience. We do have a culture assessment if companies need that. So culture assessments generally would come in when there have been acquisitions or mergers, and then there are two separate cultures combining into one organization. So they will generally be like culture assessments conducted. So we do help with those as well. And then we have our employee experience survey, which is more like you can do it annually. And then we have the flexibility to actually pick and choose questions for your liking. I think that is something that we do uniquely out there in the market, where within our templates
that's really interesting.
You can pick and choose because generally with other organizations would not allow for customizing their templates, their proprietary templates, but we do provide that option where you can pick and choose the questions that you like and then create your own survey. So it's like you can choose the questions from what we provide, from the question library that we have, and then you can also add your own questions on top of that.
Because that's like the hardest part about building a survey is coming up with the questions and the answers.
Exactly. So that is why we have provided templates.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you can kind of come in here and just like I want to do a new study, and then I can walk through what's important to me, what I need based on these different categories.
That is correct, yes. And this is also something interesting that we provide. So what you see on the left side are different pillars or categories, as you said, we make available in the survey. And then these are not displayed to the employees like directly, but these are really available to you in the analytics. So you know like what topic are you answering and how people are responding to it or how people feel about that.
Okay, cool. That's awesome.
Awesome. And then, so these templates, and there are also templates for like the 360 assessments. So there are different competencies and like different behaviors you can assess. So this is about the template that we provide, the different question library I would like to also call it.
That's awesome.
The other thing I wanted to also touch on is like the employee roster. So this is where we help you store all the employee details into our system so that it's easier for you to gather feedback and also make all your surveys completely anonymous so that people can provide candid feedback. Now,
we were just talking about that psychological safety.
Yes, exactly. Like you wouldn't somebody will not feel confident to share their feedback if they are asked like personal information about like choose your department, pick your manager in the survey, tell us more about
then people could deduce it, like you just use power of deduction to figure out who people are.
Yeah, so we help them we help organizations store this information up front through their HRIS system or HRMS system, right? Those can be like organizations tend to use Workday or SuccessFactors. There's Bamboo HR, ADP. There are different types of HR systems out there, which organizations use to store their employee data. And then we give them the flexibility to bring that into our platform. not only just to make your surveys anonymous, but you can see there is some demographic information on the right side, which can be used as filters when you're analyzing the data. Now, this is where it gets really powerful because you can look at the data in different cuts.
That's interesting. I love that. And so you could say like, hey, if I have a workforce of 1,000 people or 5,000 people, and I want to look at the marketing team across the entire globe, you could break it down that way. Or just, I want to look at US marketing. You could look at it that way too.
Correct, yes. Yeah, so you can
That's
have your own
awesome.
personalized dashboard as a stakeholder in the organization or as a manager where you would like to see how your team is responding to certain topics.
Ooh, and then I'm assuming over time, the biggest part of this is you can see how they respond to certain topics over time. So if you start something like a workforce functionality, you want to do this for a minimum of 2 years, 5 years, infinite. Like, I'm assuming you don't want to just do it once.
Yeah, absolutely. Organizations tend to do like these annual surveys or employee engagement surveys every year. So there is a trend that develops. Like you could look at your eNPS scores on yearly basis, how it was in 2020 versus how now, what is the eNPS score this year? And maybe next year when you do it, you'd also do a comparison to that. So you can see how this data is trending, and then you can correlate it with like different topics to identify, yeah, this is where, or this is like for a specific behavior when people feel different about it, that is where your eNPS score starts to drop. So our dashboards are also really powerful. I'll switch to that so you can see. We have a way for you to actually create your own dashboard. So you can see like these are different list of dashboards. And then we have an option for you to actually define your own story within the dashboard by creating or choosing your own widgets. So you can see there is widgets for a time trend report that we just talked about, like doing eNPS surveys. You could also use this for pulse surveys that you would do maybe every quarter and keep it very light. Like that can be like a follow-up survey to your annual engagement survey, because as Guille was talking previously, you would define some action items or initiatives based on the data that you go through when you're done with your annual engagement survey. And then based on these initiatives, you would still want to do some follow-up to see like people feel anything different based on the changes that have been made from the survey data itself, right? So that can also be done through like these kind of widgets. And we have a separate platform. We call it Empower, which is also linked to like, or gives organizations the ability to actually create action plans and or manage their initiatives.
I feel like I need my better glasses, or my face is so close to the screen. This is awesome. So inside of QuestionPro Workforce, you have survey templates where you can get started from scratch. We have dashboards with widgets that you can create your own dashboard to see the things that are important to you as either an HR manager or a department manager. So you can develop different dashboards based on your role. And then you have almost like a third piece that brings it all together, which is Empower, that takes all that data and creates an action plan based on your company's needs. Am I summarizing Workforce properly?
That is accurate.
I love that. What is your, Jeswin, okay, a little bit of a curveball question. What is like your favorite thing about Workforce that people don't use enough?
Favorite thing about Workforce that people don't use enough? I think it's
what's like your cool, like this is so cool, but people don't use it.
Yeah, I would say we have a functionality where you can actually automate your onboarding and exit processes, meaning your onboarding surveys and exit surveys, which I feel like organizations are still trying to do that, but not every organization is doing it. I feel it's a very useful or important thing to gather feedback at the level where employees are just getting into the organization. They are like 7 days in or 21 days in, and like through the process to understand their feedback, and also to gather feedback at the exit when people are moving on to a different organization, why and why not. So you can actually do that and automate the entire process within Workforce by applying certain workflows in the system based on like the start dates and the employee status of employees. I feel that's a very unique and important feature, which I think organizations should use more.
That's awesome. Wow, I love that little nugget. Automated onboarding and outboarding, offboarding.
Exit service.
Exit interview. Sorry, I'm not a workforce professional. So automated, like building that through automation. That's awesome. Well, Jeswin, I know you have a hard stop because you have customers to get to. So I don't want to keep you too long. And I really appreciate you joining us and walking us through workforce.
Thank you so much for having me, Crystal and Guille. It was a nice session.
Of course. Well, Guille, that was awesome. And just a nice little nugget of QuestionPro Workforce. You know, we don't want to get too deep into a deep demo. If you need a demo of Workforce, obviously go to questionpro.com/workforce. And Jeswin will give you a lot of one-on-one time. He knows the platform inside and out.
Yeah, he's the king on how things work.
I love that. So, Guille, before we start wrapping up for the day, what is your, like, I'll ask you the same question I asked Jeswin. If there is something that you really wish people knew and were doing in their employee experience kind of environment, what would that be?
I would say that Workforce can be a great partner on every single step of the employee journey. Just as Jeswin said, you can automate onboarding and exit service, or I think we call it offboarding, Crystal. That's why we got that. But you can automate the whole employee journey from culture to well-being to like leadership development. It all comes together in one single platform, and it's a very powerful tool to measure employee engagement, and as we said before, to take action, because we have like Empower. It's an action planning platform that it's very powerful, and we're always improving our tools and features. And
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I was like, literally when he opened that up, I was like, this doesn't even look like what it looked like last year.
so different. It's our dashboards they look amazing now. You can even change the colors of them, like.
That's my favorite part about office hours. I don't know if you joined us for office hours before, you always get to see my genuine reaction to our platform experience, because I'm always looking at it. And then when there was like a week one time Nick was here, and I literally clicked a button and was like, oh, I didn't know this did this. And Nick was like, how long have you worked here? It's all in live time. So, that's why we're here doing QuestionPro office hours, because a big part of who QuestionPro is and part of our culture is authenticity and showing up as ourselves every day at work, whether that be, you're operating at 150% or you're operating at 60%. We want to be able to show up every day. We're really authentic in how we do everything from our webinars to our platform to who we are in the workplace. So, office hours is just a representation of that. Okay. Any final words, Guille? Any plugs for QuestionPro Workforce?
No, I would say join our webinar next Thursday. It's gonna be amazing. They're gonna be our speakers at X Day. So it's like a little how do you say,
like sneak peek?
It's a sneak peek of what's going to happen at X Day. We already have a lot of people registered for that one. So make sure you save your seat for the webinar.
And it's happiness in the workplace? Happiness at work.
Happiness at work.
Perfect. Well, Guille, thank you so much for joining me for our office hours this September. Next time, it will not be me or Guille. We'll be handing off the reins because Guille and I will be busy at QuestionPro X Day. And so next month, join us for the 4th Monday of October. I think it's the 22nd, the 23rd. And Jesus, who's in the background, he'll be running it that Monday, and we will be talking about something very interesting, I'm sure. TBD on where the schedule is, on what it is. But, join us for QuestionPro office hours every 4th Monday of the month as we talk about everything from QuestionPro Essentials to QuestionPro Workforce, or even our customer experience and research platforms. Thanks so much for joining me, Guille.
No, thank you for inviting me, and thank you for helping me make sense of what I say.
Of course, that's what I'm here. I just repeat what you say differently. Okay, see you later, Guille.
See you.